If you've been trying to buy a home in the western or southern suburbs of Chicago and the banks keep telling you no, these are towns like Naperville, Tinley Park, Wheaton, Richmond Park, Matson, Harvey, and the banks continue to tell you no. Or if the high interest rates is pricing you out of your monthly budget, stop what you're doing right now. There is a very legal way that's under the radar that you can purchase homes today without using a traditional bank. You can legally take over the seller's mortgage without ever having to qualify for a new bank loan. Right now, every day, buyers are continuously running into a brick wall when trying to purchase a home. Between strict lending guidelines, high rates, and the current spike that just happened in Cook County, your debt to income ratio gets wiped out completely. Trust me, I feel your pain. You want to buy a house so bad, but the traditional way makes it almost impossible for you to actually buy a home unless you literally put down an arm and a leg. And you've probably never heard this from your current real estate agent because most real estate agents do not know about these type of programs. Respectfully, most real estate agents focus on the traditional way of buying a home, which is fine. And in many cases, this works for a lot of people. But today, this video is for the people it does not work for. Instead of getting or qualifying for a brand new mortgage through a traditional bank, a buyer can literally step into a seller's shoes, take over the existing mortgage while becoming the new owner of the property. And just to be clear, the mortgage stays in the seller's name, and the buyer literally pays on their behalf every single month. Today's interest rate are floating around 6 and 7% on most loan programs. Now, if you bought this property back in 2021 or 2022 or parts of 2023, you can have a very low interest rate right now of around 3 to 4%. When this transaction is complete, the buyer literally takes deed to the home as the existing mortgage stays in the seller's name. Each month that the buyer makes on-time payments to the mortgage company, the seller's credit will continue to grow. The seller also has protection by putting liens on the property. Now, it can be multiple liens. They definitely have one that says that the seller has to be paid off with whatever you and the buyer agreed upon. And there can also be an additional loan on there, which can be a second or third position lien, which will allow you to protect the equity that you've already built in your house coming from the seller's standpoint. Now, as I mentioned, this type of strategy in real estate transaction is not for everybody. This is for a seller who needs to get out of the property for whatever reason. If there's been a death in the family, if you're going through a foreclosure, if you're leaving the country, or if you just want to move somewhere far away and you don't want to deal with the property anymore. I always recommend all real estate transaction go through a attorney, and this one is no different at all. A good attorney will protect both the buyer and the seller during this transaction. And I know what you guys are saying. Hey, Chevy, what happens if the buyer defaults on making the payments? Well, this is why we have a good attorney and we have transparency throughout all these type of transactions, because there are clauses in there that state if the buyer is 30 days or 45 days past due, the property immediately reverts back to the seller. They get to keep all those payments, and the buyer essentially is SOL. The seller literally forecloses just like a bank on the buyer and takes over the property. Now, this type of strategy is not just meant for buyers or first-time home buyers. This is also a very common creative way to invest into real estate, whether it be residential, commercial, land. This strategy has been used for years, decades, if not centuries. If you want to learn more about this strategy of creative financing, or if you're a buyer or an investor and you're looking to invest in Northwest Indiana, South Suburbs of Chicago, all over Tennessee, feel free to reach out to me. Again, this strategy is 100% legal, and this strategy has helped thousands, hundreds of thousands of people complete a almost impossible task of completing a real estate transaction that was deemed dead essentially by the traditional way. Type the word creative down below, or feel free to reach out to me directly. My contact information will be at the bottom. Call or text anytime. I'm here to help. Again, my name is Chevy Harris with Classy Butler Real Estate, aka Coldwell Banker, and I'll see you guys on the next video.